It has been a while since I've done that. I've been feeling an itch to make a video here like the days of old, like the old days. I don't even know if you know me or remember me. I've been gone for a little bit. Hi, my name is Tyler Meacham. I'm a musician now, but I have been making YouTube videos on and off since 2007. Granted, a lot of those videos have since been deleted because nobody needs to see 14-year-old Tyler talking about Lost and using her action figures as props. I've been feeling like I abandoned this corner of the internet, and I'm curious about a return to form of sorts, while also merging what my life is like now, because it's a lot different than it was 6 years ago when I was last actively posting on this channel. And I know that there are probably some of you watching this that are like, what are you talking about? YouTube videos, when did you do this? What is happening? Because you maybe only came upon my stuff within the last few years. And if that's you, I'm gonna catch everybody up. We're gonna go through the whole timeline, the multiverse of my YouTube channel, if you will, and try to find some common ground. I will A, give you the full story, and B, try to figure out what to do with this space. I kind of want to figure out what I want to do with it, but also curious to know who's still hanging around after all these years. There's 1,900 of you according to that number. So if you're still hanging out and you want to let me know what you want to see from me, we'll get to that part of the video. But first, let's go back in time to the very beginning. So 16 years ago today, I posted my very first YouTube video. It was a direct upload from my mom's laptop. It was me recording a cover of some song on the piano. Around that time, I started uploading really embarrassing direct uploads like every day after school. I was in middle school, and now I'm about to turn 30. Wow. Back then, I basically made the same kind of dumb experimental YouTube content that everybody was making in 2008. I posted skits and vlogs and really early attempts at songwriting. I went viral for writing a protest song about a Disney-themed online game called Virtual Magic Kingdom that was closing. Viral back then was like 20,000 views. And some of you found me from that and have been here since then, and I'm sorry to break hearts, but that video will never see the light of day. It might, honestly, there might be something out there if you really search hard. Anyway, I started getting into traditional filmmaking once I was in high school, and I was posting like music videos and short films and all sorts of stuff. I became a YouTube partner. They sent me a track jacket. I joined an MCN. I went to Playlist Live at one point, and then everything on this platform changed a lot, and all of that went away. Subsequently, I went to college to study film, kind of because I liked YouTube. So I focused on school, I got the degree, I sang in an a cappella group, I did an internship in LA at the Fine Brothers, making those videos where kids react to things. I did not like living on the West Coast. I did like the Dodgers though, and that hasn't changed. But yeah, I graduated and ended up getting a job right out of college working for Disney in Florida as an Imagineer. And we're getting pretty close to where we left off. I lasted just under a year in that job before the quarter-life crisis kicked in, and I quit and moved back into my childhood bedroom in a house with my parents. And honestly, there's a whole stockpile of stories from the Disney era, so if you're curious or have any questions, I'm an open book. I would love to talk about it. Besides, vlogging is like free therapy, and I probably still have more to process. It didn't take me a year to fail at something. Anyway, right about here is where this channel kind of died, but around that time is when I made some of my favorite content that I've ever made, because it was just kind of like me stripped back to nothing and trying to figure out what to do next with my life. And then I shifted this channel completely and I started posting a new song every month and having people on Patreon hold me accountable to do that. I actually still do that. It's just a little bit different than it used to be. I'll link that down below if you're interested. And a lot of those songs that I posted ended up becoming what I recorded in a studio to release as like my first official thing as a artist outside of the internet, at large, if you will. What you didn't see around that time was me going to open mics like 2 and 3 times a week while also still looking for a job that would utilize my film degree. I was brought in to audition for some really popular reality singing shows, and I got rejected from all of them. I was also going through some of the hardest relationship, friendship stuff I'd ever been through in my life, and it really had me struggling with trust and belonging. But I also needed to get out and meet people. It was very hard. Those were hard things to do in combination. But then I met Chip, and we fell in love, and we started making music together. And I know that sounds cliche and stupid, but that's literally what happened. Almost like that. It was, we're making music, and I love you. And I ended up going from being someone that was just kind of like figuring out music to playing, 12 to 14 hours and getting paid to do it every single weekend. And it was exhausting, and I wasn't making enough money to do it, but I was at least making enough money to pay for my apartment in the city, which I guess felt like an accomplishment. I had a band and we started touring, and I was playing my songs in like other states, and people were coming out and being like, I know your song, it means something to me. And like, I never thought that was possible. Like, never once in my life. I mean, maybe when I was like a really little kid and I would play American Idol on the playground and I would make myself win every time I thought it was possible, but like, you get kind of told at some point along in your education that like, you gotta be serious and you gotta have this like job security. I obviously rejected that, but I had never really thought that it was possible, honestly. And I still am kind of like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And the truth is, I changed a lot. I went from being a person who was enamored with camera lenses and film gear and screenplays to being someone who really likes guitar pedals and vocal chains and plugins. I stopped feeling like a quirky internet person making DIY YouTube videos and started to feel really serious about music. I didn't really know how continuing to do this supported that, if that makes sense. Anyway, then the pandemic hit. And life got more real than it has ever been. And without going into too much detail, cancer became a really big part of my life, and I spent the last few years navigating waves of grief that are frankly still really new to me. Alongside all that, my band broke up after I put out an album, and that was a real bummer. I spent like the whole summer playing Roller Coaster Tycoon. I literally became a Roller Coaster Tycoon instead of being a musician for like the summer of 2022. When I could have been doing this. I don't know. I had to take some time. Eventually, life got less hard. I should say life got slightly less hard. And because of all of that, I ended up writing some of my favorite music that I've ever written. And it's pretty sad. It's some sad girl shit, but I'm like, it feels real. And that's what I've been working on. So yeah, it's been the most batshit 6 years, honestly. The amount of change has been incessant, and I guess that's just life. Obviously, I feel like if you haven't learned that by almost 30, then hello, welcome to the party. Recently, I was probably brain rotting scrolling on TikTok, and I just started to miss this. I don't know, I grew up here in a way. I mean, I did. You can't see any of that stuff, but I can go back and watch it at any time. And let me tell you, there were some very concerning phases. But I just realized there's no reason why I can't pop back over here and start making content again. There was a time when YouTube kind of felt like this pressure to be successful and to like become a YouTuber, and I just don't really feel that way anymore. Now, I just kind of want to come back and make stuff that I like, whether it's music related or not. I probably will talk about music since that is 99% of my life. And, you know, just kind of see what happens. So if you've lasted this long, either in this video or with me on this channel, and if by some miracle I'm no longer alone in this little box, leave me a comment. Let me know who you are, because I would love to know. Number 2, what do you think I should post here? Or do you not have an opinion? And it's okay if you don't. I don't think people typically have very strong opinions about what other people do with their creative efforts, but maybe you have a question about some of the stuff I just talked about. I'm an open book. That said, I'm not making any promises that I'm going to post here regularly just yet. Kind of just popping in to say, hello, still hanging out, I miss all of this, and maybe I will pop in and say hello more often. Also, I need a new camera. This camera was like top of the line in 2016, and now it's janky. Okay, thanks for watching. I don't know what's gonna come of this, but long live Dino Land. Am I right?